Alright, it's time to do the Halo Infinite LASO in order to get our Headmaster achievement, where we'll do all the main campaign missions with all skulls on Legendary difficulty. As always, I'd love to hear any feedback on how I can improve my later guides, as well as I'll probably be streaming sometime soon, going back through LASO to refine my method and later release updated guides as more tips and tricks are found. And links will be found in the description. And without any more delay, here we go. Some notable skulls include the Boom and Cowbell skull, which doubles explosion radius and increases the acceleration from explosions, meaning enemies and ourselves can be sent flying pretty easily here. Very important to keep this in mind, as the main weapon I'll advise you to get in this guide is the rocket launcher, which we'll get until the end of the campaign. Other skulls are Blind, which hides your HUD, including your crosshairs. You can avoid this by just placing tape on your screen where your crosshairs would be, but in my opinion that's not necessary here, as when you have the grappling hook in your active equipment slot, you can use the yellow dot indicating that you're in range to grapple something to help you aim. And the last notable skull is the Bandana skull, which allows us to have infinite ammo, grenades, and no cooldown on any of our armor ability equipment. And oh boy, will we be abusing this one. This skull makes this lasso probably the easiest of all lassos, bar maybe the ODST lasso. So we're just going to go through this intro area and picking off each of these grunts. When you're killing the last grunt, try to get off a melee on him, just so that way you can start off your next couple fights with full shields. It's very important in this campaign, as you don't really get checkpoints very often if you don't have full shields, which will greatly help us out, as if you can end your fights with full shields, you'll have more checkpoints, you'll have less time redoing sections you've already done just because you died a couple fights later and you didn't have shields at some point. And you really see me showcasing off the Bandana skulls that since we have infinite grenades, I'm really just lobbing a ton of frag grenades at them, trying to weaken these grunt shields just a little bit, make it a little bit easier on me since I can throw them behind cover. You'll notice throughout this lasso that frag grenades are not very helpful. They tend to not be very effective here. Pretty much always a better idea just to use any other type of grenade, especially dynamos and plasmas. Dynamos especially, they're going to be the most useful one possible, as they stun enemies a little bit when they electrocute. So we're just going to try and finish off each fight with a melee like before, so that way we get full shields and we're more likely to get a checkpoint. And we're just going to pick off this brute here. I like using the Mauler just because it does a lot of damage and increased melee damage and stuff. Like I said, try to use a melee to finish him off, or at least get a melee right before you kill him. That way you get your shields back again. Notice our little model error there, and just standing still. Very useful to use these little explosive containers, as they tend to do a lot more damage than even like rocket launchers do. So whenever you can, if it's safe to do so, throw them at the enemies as much as you can. It is a little risky though, as if you are holding them and you get shot while holding them, they'll explode in your hand and you'll pretty much just be dead right there. Like I said, we're just going to throw it right at that grunt, kill him, and believe I have dynamos at this point. Nope, never mind. But we're just going to shoot the explosives on that one, finish off the rest of them. Grunts are pretty easy. You can literally just fight them meleeing only, which is what I'm about to do here. Be careful though with the grunts, as they have the disruptor, and if they shoot you a good bit with them, it'll damage you a little bit over time, which can make it hard to get your shields back when you melee them. You have to wait for the damage to stop and before you can melee and get your shields back again. Like I said, we're just going to take advantage of the explosives that are in the room, and this is why dynamos are so important. As you can see, that brute was just stunned for a good bit, and I just was able to get a bunch of free shots on him. I was able to go and melee him pretty easily, and it's just a huge combo starter for all of LASO. Pretty much every fight you're going to be doing in LASO will start off with you throwing a dynamo at an enemy, get them stunned, and finish them off with either the rocket launcher, which we'll get in just a second, or any other kind of weapon you have. And you can see I also prepped myself here with another explosive crate for the next fight we're about to be doing here. Pretty much as soon as you see another enemy, throw it at them, get a free kill, and then the rest of them should be a lot easier now that you just have one less person down right away. Another trick that you can also do, especially against jackals, is using the grappling hook, as if you hit the shield with the grappling hook, it'll stagger them and it'll cause them to be exposed, and you can use your precision gun like the pistol, carbine, battle rifle, any of those to get a headshot, and one headshot will kill them. So I've been just lobbing more dynamo grenades here. Like I said, you could just see that brute was just easy kill. He was just standing still, bunch of headshots with the commando, instantly was able to get him. So right here, this guy has the rocket launcher, and this is what we want. We're gonna kill this dude right here, grab his rocket launcher, and we're gonna keep this until the end of the campaign. This is gonna be our main weapon throughout all of LASO. You can see I was kind of just shooting off to the side there. That was mostly just so I could tell what weapon I had equipped. I didn't want to get rid of my commando, and I instead just wanted to get rid of the plasma pistol I had at the time. So I was just shooting to double check what gun I had. So once we get off the elevator, we're just going to head left through this door here. A bunch of elites, or not elites, jackals and grunts are going to be popping out, and we're just going to use our rocket launcher to clear out a bunch of them. And using the rocket launcher, we can really just poke out, shoot our 2 shots, and then go back into cover. And it's super easy and effective to clear out all of them. You can also see I'm using the dynamo grenades again. That way I can get a clear shot with the rocket launchers as the enemies are stunned. It's also important to note that when you electrocute an enemy with the dynamo grenades, that they aren't actually pushed back by the rocket explosion, which normally would happen with a cowbell skull. Normally when you just shoot a rocket, if it hits the ground next to an enemy, the enemy will just go flying. But when they're electrocuted, they won't go anywhere, they won't move, they'll just be sitting still, and you'll be able to get 2 free shots off. And when we get to this next room, we're just going to try and pick people off one by one with the rocket launcher. Using this door for cover. Whenever we need to reload this, the door will close and provide a nice little shield for us. Just going to peek just close enough to get it to open so we can take another shot at. You can see I'm just using the commando just to see where I'm aiming at for a little bit. That way I can line up my rocket shots and I can get a more accurate hit. As I said, we're going to use our dynamo grenades again. That way we can get a clear shot and make sure we definitely get a kill confirmed for that. That way we can start clearing out the room more. Use some of these explosives too at your disposal. Like I said, if they're there, feel free to use them. They do help out a lot. They do a lot of damage. Once the room is mostly cleared out, I'm just going to go in, start meleeing a grunt. That way I can get my shields back and I can start out the next room with a fresh checkpoint. Hopefully. In this one, there's just going to be a bunch of jackals that are appearing around. You can usually just walk in, shoot a rocket, and should kill all of them. I like to just shoot 2 just to guarantee that they're all dead. And this next room is going to be actually really tricky. You have to like really peek your head in and out of the doorway. Take as many people out as you can. And there's going to be brutes and grunts both above and below you that you're going to have to watch out for. A couple of them do have rocket launchers, and those can do a lot of damage. So like I said, I'm throwing dynamo grenades up there. That way I can grapple up, hopefully get a kill real quick, and then pop back down before that dude's rockets tries and kills me. Which is really scary. I know that one got me quite a few times when I was figuring out where they all were. Yeah, just got to make sure you also keep the door open before you shoot. You don't want to accidentally kill yourself if you're standing too close to the door and you accidentally shoot it as it's closing, and the explosion radius will kill you. There's usually a couple brutes that are going to be up there, so I'm going back up, trying to get that guy stunned, because that's the dude with the rocket launcher. And you can see it didn't quite kill him, so I had to pull out my commando and get the finish kill. There's another guy with a rocket launcher up there, so as I'm taking my next couple shots in order to get a kill, I pop behind the box here down on the little elevator right here, because there's going to be a rocket and explosions that's going on. Again, typical dynamo stun, rocket launcher kill, and we're good to go. Be real careful when you're approaching the corner here, as there's the grunt on a plasma turret that'll come and shoot you, and it'll shred your shields down. So just bank a couple dynamo grenades off there, get them all stunned up, shoot a bunch of rockets, kill as many as you can there. I know a couple times they've thrown grenades at me, and they've also just done a lot of damage to me. So again, just keep throwing dynamos, blast as many as you can. And then just to catch them off guard, I like to run into the room to the left and loop around where they are. Just checking my surroundings, see if there's anything I can use. I end up grabbing a explosive crate right here that you can just use. I use it to kill a couple people, or just a brute, looks like. And then you can just go and finish it off. If there's only, like in this case, if there's just a jackal left, I usually just like to go and melee him off just so I can get my shields back, and then we'll be ready for the next large room. Now this next room is actually a pretty fun room. It's a lot of grappling around and just trying to pick people off where you can. You can see when it starts, everyone's distracted, so you can go and backsmack one or two. In this case, I was only able to get one. I've had bad luck where they seem to notice me immediately. But you can usually backsmack one, throw a dynamo, get another kill, maybe even two, depending on how quick you are with the timing. As I said, I like to prep myself with these explosive canisters, so I'm carrying one now, and then I'm going to grapple upwards and try and get a brute real quick with one of these. And see, it didn't quite kill him. He was one of those heavily shielded ones, so I just finished him off with a couple of rockets. Now once you kill a couple of them, especially once you reach that certain point, there's going to be more spawning below. You just dynamo, pop around the corner if you need to reload, and finish them all off with the rocket. Then after we hop back down, we got ourselves reloaded, we'll just grapple up, hopefully take out another one, pop back down so we can reload in safety, and we're just going to rinse and repeat this process. Also found out that this spot right up here, after I failed to grapple up there a couple times, is actually a pretty good one, because some of the brutes have rocket launchers, but when they try shooting you when you're over here, at least in the positions that they were in this video, they end up hitting the platform that's right in front of you. And you can see the rocket was hitting the wall. So that way you're a little safe and you can just kind of just chill up there while you're just taking shots at them with yours. Again, we'll just keep popping up and down, taking out a brute here and there. Make sure you always throw the dynamo so you can get them stunned, so you don't have to worry about them fighting back while you get a kill. Pop back down, and again, rinse and repeat this, and you'll be set. Just be real careful. Like I said, they have rockets, and sometimes the rocket explosions, especially with the boom skull, the explosions can kind of go through surfaces, I've noticed. I've gotten killed quite a few times when I've just been standing behind a barricade, and the explosion will go off, and I'll have still died because the explosion radius still was able to hit me somehow, even though I'd be behind a wall. So you just gotta make sure you give yourself a little bit of extra clearance just so you don't get hit by some random lasso fun stuff.
It's a new plan. Scuttle the ship.
You are going to destroy this ship with us in it? I'm going to die here.
So after Chief breaks the little console command for the cooling cores, we're gonna run over down to the left. You can choose left or right, it doesn't necessarily matter what order you go in. But you kind of want to be quick-ish, because the longer you wait, the more spread out some of the enemies will be. They won't be terribly spread out, but it will be harder to kill multiple people with the rockets, which is what we're ended up going to be doing here, is we're going to be able to clear out a good chunk of people at once with just a couple rockets. So you'll have plenty of cover here to be lobbing your dynamo grenades out, and once you can tell they're stunned, you go in, finish off, and you're good to start breaking some of the cores. Now be careful, there are going to be people both above and below you whenever you're doing this kind of stuff. So make sure you go up so that way you can finish everyone off. Remember also, if you ever have the opportunity, you're going to be getting shot at quite a bit here, so I lost my shield, so I'm going to take this opportunity to get my shields back by just taking out the single brute that was there. And once you finish clearing out the area around the first core, you'll just destroy that one, and you'll move on to the next one. However, be warned that there are going to be more enemies that spawn near the entrance of the room that we first came in. So once you make your way over there, it's best to just go straight towards the door so that way you can start clearing them out. You are going to have to clear out the entire room in order to access the panel once you're done with it. But there's going to be this one brute here you're going to want to just finish off real quick. Not too much of a hassle. Again, just dynamo rocket, you're good. And the other one should be coming around the corner. You just do the exact same thing. And then you can start making your way to the next core. Picking off those whoever try to come out, shoot at you. I like to grapple up here just because I have a good view of what's going on in the room. I can see exactly where all the enemies are. That way, if I need to, I can toss my nades down. I have a good view of some of the brutes that are down there, so I just chuck a nade down there, rocket kill them, and rinse and repeat until I'm safe to go down and finish off the remaining people and destroy the core. Again, be very careful. A lot of the brutes here have rockets, especially with the mythic skull that increases the rank of all the enemies. So a lot of the brutes will end up having rocket launchers. You just gotta be real careful because with the boom skull, there's going to be a large explosion radius you're going to have to be really careful for. Again, just follow the same strategy. You just simply go in, dynamo grenade whoever you can, and then finish them off with a rocket launcher. In a lot of instances, especially with grunts and stuff too, if you just spam dynamo grenades, it'll kill them. Or if you just do like the 2 and you have that one grunt left over like I did, you can just finish them off with the melee, get your shields back. I'm just switching grenades because it's almost safer to destroy the nade with a plasma grenade. Simply because I don't want to accidentally not know what weapon I'm using and just shoot a rocket point blank in front of me in order to destroy the weapon. So I like doing the nades since it gives you a lot more time to react. Now I ended up actually clearing out this entire room, but I didn't happen to know it when I was looking around, so I was just checking around making sure there wasn't any more enemies. But once I realized there weren't any more enemies, I was able to go back to the console and end this section of the level so we can start the next one. Now we're in the final stretch of the level. There's going to be 2 grunts that are just going to be running around. You just quickly take them out. You're definitely going to want to make sure you have shields for this next part, as it's not necessarily hard, but you want to make sure you take it nice and slow because there's a lot of explosions just going on around you with the ship falling apart and such. So there's a lot of explosions going on around you, which sends debris flying around, like all the boxes that are in the area, and they will kill you. If an explosion triggers a box to fly around, that box hits you, you are going to die. So be very careful, take this area nice and slow. You just want to stay back, shoot off your rockets, and try and pick off people when you can. If you have the opportunity, like when there's just these grunts here, you can get your shields back if you need to, in case you lost some of them. But you want to just be extra careful because any kind of explosions, especially the ones that are happening around the map, it'll cause the ship to shake a lot and jerk around, and all these boxes are going to be flying all over the place. Trust me, I have died multiple times just from flying boxes here. I can't stress that enough. So as you cleared out that hallway, you're going to be going into that right door here. There will be a brute there, so watch out. You can see I actually lost my shields here, so after I damage him a little bit, I'm going to go in and want to melee him just so I can get my shields back. Again, be careful because, like I said, explosions happening. Don't want to get crushed. Right here, you want to grapple around. I even kind of messed up and landed on the little goo on the ground. It will hurt you, so you don't want to stand on that very long, or you will die to it. And once you take out these 2 grunts, you're going to be hopping down the elevator here. Please be careful right on the elevator, as after it falls down, as soon as you're about ready to exit the elevator again, an explosion will happen and there'll be a bunch of flying debris and boxes going around, so you want to make sure you don't get crushed by that. So just go in, trigger the explosion by walking out a little bit, wait for everything to settle down, and then you're free to go. Now that we're on the grappling hook section of this little level, we just kind of traverse the terrain. It's not going to be really too difficult. You're just going to be grappling across the path. If you did happen to lose your shields here, there are going to be a couple of grunts that you're going to be able to melee and take out to regain them before you go into the next section. Should also watch out for flying boxes around here too, just because they will still kill you. Like when that container was jostling around, some of the boxes are there. I was very fortunate to not get crushed there. But like I said, you can always get your shields back if you do happen to take a little bit of damage by killing that 1 grunt that's just chilling in there. And there's also another couple grunts in here as well. Now once you land on the last floating platform, you actually want to hang back just a little bit until the elevator comes crashing down. That'll kill all the remaining banished that are sitting on top. And then you're going to want to fire a rocket down there because there's going to be even more banished just chilling in there. You should be able to take them out, with most of them out with just a couple rockets, as there's a bunch of exploding canisters in there as well. But there's still probably going to be a few remaining, so you just dynamo rocket the remaining couple of them and you should be good to go. Again, we're just going to take pop shots at the last remaining banished. They still will fight back despite the ship being exploded, so you want to just be real careful, because between them and all the flying boxes that'll be happening around you, you don't want to die to just some silliness that's going around. I'll be careful with these exploding canisters, as they leave a nasty little thing on the ground that will damage you if you're standing in it, so you don't want to die just from walking into the fire. And once you've finished running to the end of that hallway, you have completely finished Warship GBRAAKON on LASO. I think that's how you pronounce that. But you did it! Congrats! Thanks for watching. That's 1 mission down, 14 more to go. Don't worry though, as the first few missions are going to be the hardest, as once we get our armor equipment all set up and everything after is a breeze. If you like this, I'd love to hear any more feedback on how I can improve. I had a lot of fun making this and I look forward to making the rest. See you guys on Foundations.